But we're not live. Oh.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my 41st birthday. As you can see, I've got some very interesting people on the panel. So we've got Dee Time Love. Hello, Dee.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear Alex.
World
Happy
famous.
birthday to you.
Yay! That was pathetic, but anyway.
This guy over there, whiskey.
Yay! This is cheaper for me doing this than visiting you in Liverpool, mate.
Alex, many happy returns.
Thank you, Yanni.
It's not, it's Ocean. Happy returns.
How's it going, Thomas?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks, Alex. How you been?
I'm good. I've been well.
You have a good birthday.
It's been, I had the best birthday yesterday ever. I really enjoyed it. I had a great fun. No, it's been really good. Really good. Paul? How's Paul?
Hello, mate. You all right? How you doing?
Yeah.
I think I've frozen for a little bit. I'm in the hotel. We're just outside Marbella. I haven't put any money in the meter, so I hope it picks up again.
How's Yanni?
Yanni's in the Royal County of Berkshire, shoulder to shoulder with the governor. That's absolutely incredible. Shoulder to shoulder with the governor. Doesn't get any better than this.
So, Paul, how's things? Okay.
Yes, mate. Lovely, mate. Lovely. I'm down here in southern Spain. I've been out. So I'm supposed to be out here with the missus looking at bloody property, and I've been looking at horses today. Would you believe?
Horses?
Horses? What, in Spain? Why?
Yeah. I love my horses, mate. I've had a lot of horses in the past, and I've just fell in love with an Andalusian this afternoon. She's a bit old, but she's beautiful.
We're talking about the horse here.
You're not going electric, Paul. Yeah. You're not going electric. You're going horses, mate. In Spain, you're keeping it clean.
Horsepower. Let me tell you. For anyone that hasn't seen the video that I did earlier on this week, this hotel where I'm at is an official saga holiday. Me and my wife are the youngest here. This morning, I nearly pulled for the first time in 20 years, but I got out of there before she managed to get her teeth in. So,
well, we got our first super chat, which translates Runyabola, which is basically a way of saying happy birthday or happy new year. Thank you very much. That's from Sky SN Boys Farrier. Is that Ferreira?
Farrier. As in horse farrier.
Exactly, Governor. You beat me to it. It's a horse farrier. Right. So, there you go. Get the shoes on the horses. Crack on.
They put farrier puts the shoes on the horses.
Tonight is Alex's birthday, so every super chat that comes in, one piece of clothing will come off.
No, it won't.
For all these fans out there tonight.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
Can we make sure he keeps them on in that case?
This is going to be a very early stream, yeah? So, no, on a serious note, Alex, what are you drinking tonight? Are you drinking tonight? I can see you're eating some chocolates there.
I was actually just devouring these Cadbury Heroes. There's not many left.
Sad times.
I know. But I'm not drinking. No, I'm not drinking.
Look, I'm going to have one for Alex, yeah? We're going to have a KO. I'm going to pop this open.
I'm going to have a Coca-Cola.
Cheers, everybody.
Spending the money, Thomas. Hey, Thomas, talking of spending money, what Rolex have you got? You showed us a Rolex that you recently bought or buying.
I'm buying, yeah. I haven't got it yet. It's arriving. I'm going out to buy. I tried it on today, and I'm going to be buying it on Sunday. And it is. It's the Palm Dial Datejust.
Ah, fantastic.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Congratulations, Thomas.
That's lovely.
Well deserved.
Lovely.
Alex, I think I've killed your stream with that announcement.
Alex,
Stuck with £2.
I've just had a right result, Alex. I was just trying to super chat you for your birthday, and it won't let me because it's telling me I can't do it in the currency in the country I'm in. So I'll just save myself 50
No, but I appreciate Paul. You don't have to do that. I appreciate
It's
that.
the thought that matters. It's the thought that matters. No, on a serious note, tonight Alex is feeling quite emotional. You know, he's in deep thought. So any questions you have for him tonight about anything, Alex will be happy to answer. Is that correct?
I think he's got some big. We got some big topics to chat about tonight, guys. Haven't we? I think it's.
Everybody's rolling in.
Do you know what? I'm actually really enjoying this tonight because Alex now knows what it's like to have the pressure on as the host. Because tonight, Alex, you're the main man, mate. I can just sit here and I can just walk off whenever I want.
Yeah.
Governor, this reminds me of the way the screen's set up right now. It reminds me of like Bamber Gascoigne and Jeremy Paxman on a university challenge.
Yeah.
You know, like we could be like university college.
The only challenge I ever had at a university, mate, was getting out before I got caught with one of the girls.
Well, can I tell you my university? Oh, Nicola, don't do it, Paul, in case he starts taking his clothes off. No, don't worry. Well, not happening.
Not happening.
Right. I remember your 40th back in. Oh, you old axe. What's going on? Right. The only university story I've got was in 1990. We were down at RAF Bryce Norton doing our jumps course, and we decided to go into Oxford via Carterton, and the students there were having a party, and we went into some shop and got a bunch of raffle tickets and just stood on the doors and didn't let the students in and charged them money to go into their own party. And we made a fair amount.
It's all frozen for me. I hope you can still hope we're still on, guys.
Yeah. Oh, you're back, Paul.
Hello.
You're back.
Yeah.
You're back.
So we made a fair amount.
Again, Paul.
No, it's gone.
The governor.
He'll be back.
Governor's gone.
Governor's gone. We'll wait until the governor comes back. But the end of the story really is we made a lot of money out of these Oxford University students, and we were just like, regular guys in the army. Like, we just kind of wonder how clever or how not so clever some of these people in university are. I mean, that was a time or two ago. Governor. The governor's back. Got double governor, single governor.
Which one is the real Paul fault?
Hotel Wi-Fi for you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking if we could, it's okay, Paul, talk about now Rolex have released that they will be selling their CPO online, which I never thought would happen.
Yeah, there's an app that's just come up. They actually put you could call it a trailer or some sort of advert on their own YouTube channel. So they're using social media to sort of do a stealth launch, aren't they, really? They didn't publicize that. It's not been in the press, really. It's just come out on their YouTube channel, which is very interesting indeed. Do you want to pop up the trailer, guys, so the guys in the chat can see it?
Yeah.
Thomas has done that for us. Is this the one here, Thomas?
Is that the one?
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
I don't know whether you're going to get much sound.
It doesn't matter. We can always just watch it. Oh, look how tidy that bench is. Jesus.
Yeah.
So these are going to be sold online.
Yeah. You see at the end, it says add to cart as well. You see that there?
Yeah.
Add to cart. That's brief and straight to the point.
John, what's your thoughts, John?
Right. Rolex have got £100 million fine to pay. So they've kind of got to get the money in somehow. The Rolex model, they're a charity, the Wilsdorf Charitable Foundation. So they are limited in how many watches they can produce or manufacture in a year. But what they can do is they can salvage and gather in watches that have been manufactured. And there are probably a lot of watches from a lot of sources that they can gather and sell those watches and make money from those without encroaching upon the limitations that their charitable status is placed upon them by the Swiss Fiscal Institute. That's point number one. Point number two is that Rolex are beginning to realize the digital world that we're living in, that you don't need bricks and mortar and you don't need that kind of arena or architecture to sell watches. Point number three, if we look at what's happened in Russia and Ukraine with the war and China and North Korea, those territories have been absolutely out of limits for Rolex in terms of high street presence. That's a huge part of their market. Russia, Ukraine, North Korea, China, and the Eastern Bloc countries. And Rolex have realized that with this war and the conflict in Ukraine, Rolex cannot have a footprint on the high street. That's a huge chunk out of their retail market. So drawing the strands together of the first 3 points. Firstly, the fiscal arrangements with the Swiss Fiscal Institute. The Rolex Wilsdorf Foundation cannot produce more than a certain number of watches, so they reap the benefit by ingathering pre-owned. Secondly, their lack of presence on the high street and other people are moving into the digital territory. And lastly, the conflict in the world. Rolex have now moved into the digital domain to make up that part of their revenue, which has been impacted by conflict. And this was something that I discussed this with Spencer Dreyer about 2 years ago when the Ukraine conflict started. How is it going to affect his ability to purchase product and to sell that? And Spencer's answer was it's far too complicated and far too early to tell. But I think this is beginning to be the answers to those questions that many people who are astute and in the watch industry were asking 24 months ago when the Ukraine conflict started. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
You're gonna have another drink after that one. Well done, everyone.
Well,
Paul, what do you think, Paul?
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I've switched to my phone. So I mean, big news. I think Rolex have made some massive changes in the last couple of years. I think there's been a big change of attitude. I think the watch that they released this week is another step towards something else I think they've been trying to do. And there's also some other news that you started talking about there, Alex, but that's also big news as well. So I think there's definitely some big changes going on. I don't think it's bad news for the watch market. I think it's good news. I think it's, well, when I say for the market, it's good news for the buyers, for the customers. Probably not so good news for the grey market, but it is what it is.
Look, the good news is Rolex are controlling the pricing again, because this is going to be now the reference point for all the grey market to check how much these Rolexes go for. So they will have to be a certain percentage below the CPO program in order to be competitive.
The new Chrono 20. The new Chrono 24, wasn't it? The first place people got to check prices.
Yeah, no more Chrono 24. If anything, it helps the secondary market out to say, look, this is what they've priced it at. They've set the price. They're not allowing the secondary market to dictate what the prices go for. This is going to be the benchmark. And it really, for me, the biggest influence of it all is the new CEO, Jean-Frédéric Dufour, the guy, the ex-Zenith guys, come on board. He's a relatively young guy, in his late 40s. And we've seen a hell of a lot of changes at Rolex in the last, just under a year, believe it or not. And I don't know, you still there, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a hell of a lot of changes. And that new day date, the Vienna one, A lot more collaborations, I think, a lot more limited editions, more gimmicky type dials, you know, are going to come out now, I think. And we're going to see, I think we're going to see what you get with more of the mainstream brands as well. I think they're going to be a lot more experimental. And we're not even we're in the first week of January and Rolex have launched the limited edition. Who would have thought that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, you know, I've said it for a long time. I think they're making collectibles now for the future. They did it with the Daytona. They've done it with the Celebration dial. I think they've done it with the left-hand drive GMT. I think they've done it with the Deep Sea Challenge. Now they've done it with this Day, and I think there'll be more come as well. The Titanium Yachtmaster.
But look, I think Rolex are going to be absolutely fine. We did notice a few things lately. Now this week, you know, I've placed e-commerce managers for the big authorized dealers, and for example, Watch the Switzerland that took over the Signet Group. They have a massive watch sale across their whole portfolio of authorized dealers that they own within their umbrella, and we're seeing prices up to 50-60% off premium brands like Breguet, for example, JLC, and a lot of the smaller brands as well have discounted heavily. I mean, there's some great deals to be had. I'm shocked to the volume. I know of New Year sales, but never at this volume. There's Omegas, there's Doxers, you name it. You'll find the only brands that haven't discounted are the likes of Cartier, Rolex, and Tudor. Everything else from Zenith, IWC, Breguet, Chopard, Bulgari, everything's discounted.
Rich Mitch, is there a sale on JLC Polaris? Well, we didn't see one, D, but we didn't we see discounted JLCs?
We did, yeah. There were some complications there on discount. Not all the models are discounted, but what they're also doing, they said to me that they are doing a e-voucher. So even if a model isn't discounted, depending on the value of the model, you could get a discount of £500 to £1,000. Because it's I think, hey, Emilio, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're well. Mark Bowman.
I just want to mention these super chats. Dodger. Have a great birthday stream, Alex and friends. Thank you very much, Dodger. That's 25 Polish. He's Polish, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Des.
Hey,
Happy
Dodger.
birthday, Alex.
Hey, Des.
Drink from me. Thank you, Des.
Man.
Very much appreciate it, Des. Thank you very much.
Legend.
Thank you.
That goes towards Alex Protein Fund. This is for Alex.
Yeah.
He's lost a bit of weight. Sales are down. You know, he's a bit quiet this time of year. He needs extra cash for the protein. He's only having one steak a day when he used to have 6 steaks a day.
Actually, it's for his PRX fund. We're saving up to buy Alex a Tissot digital PRX, the worst watch of 2023 that we're going to weld to Alex's wrist. So when he opens the door to get people in, they're going to, yeah, all right, mate, you got a great taste in watches.
Paul, have you seen that PRX?
I've seen your PRX, but we're buying you the digital PRX.
No, Thomas, can you pull up? Is it okay to pull up a PRX LCD?
Yeah.
This is what we're buying for Alex with all these super chats. This is like, you know what? You can wait for 5 minutes in Argos to buy one of these, or you can and spend £10 on it, or you could go down to Tissot and get one of these for about £349. And these watches, honestly, Paul, Governor, you know, this is beyond tasteless. This is beyond.
Can't believe Alex is going to be.
I'm going to wear that.
You are going to wear it. We're going to nail it to your wrist.
No,
we're going to nail this thing to your wrist for Easter.
We're going to put the Perpetual-Time logo on it, Alex, to sell
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know who.
It never needs servicing. It never needs servicing. Just a battery change.
That's it.
I don't know. Go on, sorry.
Governor, we were going to call this channel G2J, two Greeks and a jock. That's but no, you guys are on it. Yeah. If Dodger sees this watch, he will have fire in his eyes. I think he'll have fire in his underpants. He'll probably lose bowel and bladder control when he sees this thing. That
is shocking, isn't it? It is. Oh man.
What a shitter. What a shitter.
Absolutely. This is where your super chats are going. This.
Oh dear.
Governor, what do you think of that? What do you think of that?
Well, I'll put it this way: I'll buy a G-Shock any day of the week.
Is it on discount?
It's not.
I can't believe that. It is on discount. It was 300. It's 15% off. £50 off. Even your watch, it's on discount, Alex. You're one step closer. Give it another week, there'll be another 15% off.
All we need to do, all we need to do is a few more of these Friday night chats, a few more super chats. Yeah. Governor, I've got a question for you.
Pretty horrible, isn't it?
Do you think if I bought one of them and I went into Spencer's at BQ Watches, what kind of deal do you think he'd give me a part X on that? Do you think he'd part X that on something useful, or do you think he's going to get leads?
I think you get the sympathy PX money. I think it could be worth more. The sympathy could be worth more than the actual watch.
Looks like an oyster quartz. Oh yeah, all right, okay. You know, we got to start somewhere.
If it had a negative display, I think it might look a little bit, because it's not. It just looks wrong and cheap, doesn't it? To be fair,
I've actually phoned up the brand manager for Tissot UK, and I've asked her, could we do one in gold plate with a black face, like John Player special colours? So when Alex is wearing it at the bench, like the gold plate wears away and he gets a nasty skin rash with a tin and all the rest of it. That's really wanted, if you really want to. So I think I'm going to buy one of these watches and go to Spencer and BQ Watches and get the sympathy discount. Right.
Smart Bowman.
Right.
Sorry.
For Alex's protein fund. Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you very much. Thank you, Mark. Yeah. Thank you.
That gets you a rebuy from Lidl.
Little in the, I mean that. Dee, thanks for that. That Tissot watch is like something you would find in Lidl in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a Lidl.
You know what? It's a real shame.
A petrol station watch. It's a petrol station watch.
I don't like the way they've sort of cashed in on that now, because I like the PRX automatics. I thought they did very well.
Yeah.
And now they've sort of ruined the vibe of the whole range for me now. It was something a bit special, not special. You know what I'm getting at? It had a good vibe about it.
Does it?
Not at all.
The rest of the range for me makes me not want to wear mine now.
Right. When I said to the brand manager from Tissot UK, I said to her, we get that PRX was inspired by Gerald Genta. We get that with integral bracelets. We get all this. But this is not Gerald Genta. This is like Gerald's genitals. This is an absolute balls up.
I was going to say it's more like Gerald. It's more Gerald Bratner.
Yeah. This is it. Mitch, £2. What's your favourite reverso models? All right, over to you guys. Enough of the comedy. Let's let
Thomas answer. Thomas loves Thomas, the reverso. Yeah. Come on, Kumbari.
What's the question?
What's your favourite reverso models?
What's my favourite reverso model? Has to be a tribute Dio face, I think.
Oh, can you pull it up?
A tribute Dio face.
Mine's the Squadra.
Your Squadra.
Squadra. Yeah, it's big, isn't it?
I reviewed that on my channel. That's nice to watch.
That XL moon phase I tried on in Munich was beautiful.
Was that reverso?
Yeah.
How big is that?
Well, they're all small, weren't they? Even the extra large is still small. I think it was probably about, I don't know, I don't think it's any more than about 36 mil wide at best, I would think. But probably about 45 high.
So lug to lug, it's 45, isn't it?
I would say so, something like that. Yeah, it's not very big, but they call it the XL.
Alex, do you think you're ready for that yet?
What, the JLC?
Yeah.
It just doesn't sit right on the wrist. I just don't like the way they sit on the wrist.
I think it sits all right.
No.
It's small. It wears well.
I don't know.
Alex can't wear a reverso.
I don't know. It just doesn't look right.
Make you look more sophisticated. Now you've got the glasses, Alex. You get the reverso as well. The watchmaker's watch. trim the
It
beard
is.
down. You know what I mean?
What, to have a beard like yours, a goatee like yours?
More sophisticated, my friend.
Could you imagine me have a goatee, Dee?
Not really. He probably grows back after half an hour.
Well, what about this then? Should we do
Oh, that's
yeah.
stunning. Yeah, beautiful.
Oof. I like the ones that have enameling, so the single
Two
dial
watches
ones.
in one.
You reverse it over and you can enamel it, but I think they charge something like, I don't know, like £100 an hour or something ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
That's 12,800
Guys.
quid. That one.
Guys, can you see this? I want to show you something quickly.
Go on, Paul.
Me and the wife, we ordered some cars earlier on, hired a couple of cars. This is what turned up. Have a look.
Really?
Paul,
have you gone to a retirement? Paul, have you literally gone into a proper like old people's retirement home or something?
Mate, honestly, I tell you, she's done it on purpose, right? She's done it on purpose, so there's no crumpet to have a look at. Hold on a minute, darling. I'll be over there. I'll have a dance with you in a minute. Put the Zimmer frame down, and I'll be over there in a minute. Oh, God.
You see,
What was the news?
Paul, is Paul gone?
Is he gone?
he's frozen.
Honestly, I do. Do I keep breaking up, boys?
Yeah, it's a little bit static.
We can still hear you, Paul.
I can still hear you all right, Paul, though.
Okay. Might be better if I turn the camera off. It probably will be better anyway. You won't be able to see me then.
Whatever you feel more comfortable with, Paul.
I think, I think that, the reversal watches, the GG LeCoultre watches are absolutely incredible. But there's Paul Thorpe, the governor, telling us all about his horse purchasing. He's gone off to Andalusia to purchase some polo ponies because he's got his GG LeCoultre reversal watch. That's where it came from when they were playing polo. So the governor, there he goes, with his governor. Have you got stables with polo ponies?
I haven't got any stables anymore, mate. No, I used to have 7, but I haven't got any now.
Incredible.
So I'm stable-less, but I fell in love with a horse this afternoon. She's beautiful, and I'd love to take her home, but I've got to find somewhere to put her first.
Right. Well, why don't you park it up at my ex's? I bought her a house in Maidenhead. We've got the Pinkney's Green. We've got places for you to put that polo pony. Just take it down to Radlett. There's a Irish Traveller site just next to Spencer's place, and they've got horses that they tie up at the roundabout there, so you can come galloping up from Brighton. I know you were always complaining about the Thames link, the Bedpan line, the Bedford Pancras line, the Bedpan line goes from Bedford to St Pancras. And, I think it would make a great video, Paul, with you galloping up,
I think it's about 3 days.
Yeah, we'll come and throw carrots at you.
You can get me and Spencer to be your jockeys.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, look, seriously, Governor, for the next watch show, why don't you bring your horse along? Bring your horses along.
If the traffic's too bad in central London, John.
For me, my researching is not too clever.
Well, the thing is, Governor, you wouldn't have to pay a ULEZ charge if you come galloping through London on your ponies.
We could pick up archery with your horse. That'll be fun.
Right, guys, I'm
going
to go out and try and come back in again.
Okay, Paul, no worries.
Right. So, that's reversal models, yeah. Yeah, they're a fantastic thing, the reversals. They get more and more complicated. They'll always, GG LeCoultre, they'll always maintain their status in that.
Well, they brought out the reversal chronograph last year, didn't they? Which was was pinnacle. But
complicated.
To me, the chronograph side of it looks like it's got scaffolding on it. I don't like the look of it.
Going off subject, Alex, how does it feel to be 41 years old?
Yeah, tell us.
Because it is your birthday. It's all about Alex tonight. It's not like it's pretty much always about Alex, but anyway,
It is.
he is well famous as we know. So
How does it feel to be 41? Listen, I don't know. I think once you hit your late 30s, early 40s, then you sort of have an idea of what you want to do. I think when you're in your 20s, you're just fucking around, you're messing around. But as you hit your late 30s, early 40s, then you start to have a vision, or, you know, hopefully you've made foundations, you know. So I feel much more confident being in my 40s than I was in my late 20s, definitely.
Paul's saying his internet's not great, so it looks like he'll be a spectator. Here we go. Yep. No worries, Paul. Join later if you want, if you can. No worries, my friend.
But age is just they do say age is a number, and I do believe that. I do think it is just a number. It's never too late, is it? How old are you, Dee?
You got to respect your elders. I'm older than you. I'm literally, you know what? I don't want to give my age exactly right. I think I'm around, what am I? I'm like just under a month older than you, Alex.
I was born, well, yeah, okay.
I'm 42.
42,
No, I'm a
so
year older. I'm joking. I'm a year older.
You're,
I'm exactly
what about you, Thomas?
Me, I was a grand 50 last year.
You were 50. What about you, Yanni?
Yanni's about 30, no older than 30.
I'm 12. I'm 56.
So you're the oldest.
No, the governor, Paul Thorpe's. No, Paul Thorpe.
Alex, here's a question for you.
Go on.
For your 40th, you bought yourself the 2-ton Submariner.
And a shotgun.
The Bumblebee.
Yeah, and a gun. Yeah.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
What watch would you like to buy yourself for your 50th?
Oh, I'll probably get the Breguet
so
tradition. Yeah, the Tissot, yeah. Look, I've always wanted that Breguet tradition, to be honest. I'll get it before I'm 50. And I'll definitely get a Octofinissimo before I'm 50.
They had the Breguet tradition on sale, didn't they? Watches of
Yeah,
Switzerland?
Yeah, but it's not the one that I like. Can you pull it up, Thomas? The
I think it was, what was it?
Switzerland, pre-owned.
30% off. It wasn't pre-owned, I think, Alex. It was new.
Yeah, but it's still expensive though. It's still expensive. It's not the one I like. It's in white gold as well.
I think
you want the first model that came out, right?
I want the one where it's open work. You can see the tradition is the open work one, and it's I don't want it brand new. I just get it pre-owned.
I think at the rate that we're going, D, we'll get that PRX for Alex's 50th.
Listen, Alex is in need of the PRX and protein fund. As you can see, I think he's shrinked since we started the stream. He's not nourished. He's in need of protein. So any super chat will be
well. The thing is, we don't want to see Alex Photi, FBHI WOSTEP certified horologist, the finest pair of hands in the land, lining up in Argos to get one of these. You know, no, we can't have that. That is just beyond.
He can barely stand. He gets to sit down all day.
Right, and as Alex, it's his birthday today, and he's a year older. Allen Ginsberg famously wrote about aging, that if you're getting older, you're fortunate to be free to write off cars and wars, truths and eras. But there was a typo in the first part, and Allen Ginsberg said he's free to write off cars. That wasn't an invitation to go out and crash the things. It was to write of cars, not to write off cars. So you can't just go out and crash the cars, Alex, and just, it's my age. It's my age. Anyway, there you go. These are nice watches.
So here's some Breguet traditions. There's a GMT version, a GMT manual, a manual wound, or traditional skeleton.
The skeleton.
Has JJ got one of these, Alex?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful watches, aren't they? Yeah.
This one here. This is stunning.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah. That's what Breguet's all about, isn't it? And
I
do love that coined edge on the case as well. That's beautiful as well.
It's a bit of a suspicious horn that's coming out of 8 o'clock. It's like a horn. What's that about? It's got a horn. That's for the
gorgeous.
power
That's
reserve.
the power reserve. That's the power reserve, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like a horn that's coming out of 8. The horn.
I think it's stunning, isn't it? What do you think, John?
If you see John, if you see at 10 o'clock, there's a little regulator.
Yes. Yeah. I think that Breguet have taken. So I'm going to hang on a minute. Just a minute. You need this. Clearly takes an expert to talk about this. So I think if you just give me a minute, I'm just going to get the expert's view on this. Breguet have clearly taken influence from the Christopher Ward bel canto.
No, don't say that.
I think it's the other way around. What do I think of this watch? Interesting use of materials. I think it's something that you're going to have to spend some time with to look at the aesthetics. Does it immediately grab you? Is it a design classic? It's something that's going to grow on you. It's something that you're going to, without Alex's technical skill and Alex's experience of looking at this watch, I'm looking at it and the first thing that jumps out is the horn at 8. Yeah, that's the power indicator. And the power indicator, this is the problem I have with this. The power indicator counts clockwise from max power to minimum power. Do all power indicators do that? Do all power indicators go clockwise?
No.
That's actually a very good observation there, Yandy.
So that's the first thing.
We check this power reserve.
Yeah, the power reserve is the inverse of I think almost everybody else's power reserve. The second point I've got is that your eye is drawn to the center of the watch, but you've got to move up. A Breguet showing us what they can do in terms of watches, and by the way, time is secondary to what we Breguet can do. But really, if I wanted that, it would be Alang and Zona.
Yeah,
if I really wanted to look at the movement.
Yeah.
But I don't want to look at the movement. I want to know what the time is. What's the cost on this thing?
I think it was 27,000.
So it's not Alang and Zona territory.
No.
This is this
Right.
is, you could say, affordable, if that makes sense.
And we've got the different materials. We've got the gold, the stainless, the enamel. It's an odd one, this one. I don't know. I'd have to look at it. If Breguet want to give G2C, G2J, 2 Greeks and a jock, then we will look at this watch. We will field test this watch. Thomas, you can I don't know. I mean, to me, first thing looking at it, I'll have to spend some time with it. But just looking at it from the advert, the way that Goldsmiths have done it, I don't think the Goldsmiths advertising are doing this watch any favours.
I love it. What about this one for 161,000?
It's a bit too busy, that, in my opinion. The problem with this one is, in my opinion, Thomas, is that it looks like those cheap, tacky, nasty heaps of shit that come from China.
Yeah.
Now this is the true tourbillon in how it should be in terms of a Swiss tourbillon, but it just reminds me of that cheap tat that they sell online, trying to make out that they're true tourbillons, which they're not. So that's the unfortunate thing. When people see this, they won't realize that it's a Breguet, even if they've heard of the brand, and it's 161,000. So this would have to be for somebody that is willing to understand that this is a tourbillon and it's for them.
It's a Breguet collector. Let's be honest.
It's a collector.
It's going to be a Breguet collector.
This is like you having a pair of Purdy's, like an expensive gun, and it's just for you, and you don't care what anyone else says, and it's over the top, but it's been fitted to you.
A brace of Purdy's, 2 Holland and Hollands, and a pair of Pirazzis. And I look at this watch, and if Alex, you make a great point. This watch is thief proof because somebody's going to look at that. It's just cheap tap from China.
Yeah.
That's just cheap tap from China. That is. But if it's the real deal, which it is, and then you kind of look at it, what time is it? Oh, it's tourbillon time. It's about 6 o'clock. And you keep looking at it, and your eyes just drawn to the tourbillon at 6 o'clock. And you can just about make out the hands somewhere in there. You can just about make out. It's a very complicated, intricate, busy watch. It's Breguet saying, "Hey, look at us! You know, Jacob and Co. We're coming to get you," type thing. It's 126,000. You're not in Jacob and Co. territory.
161.
Can you buy this online at that price? Can you go back? Surely this is not available to buy. You have to go in store. Yeah, it's not add to cart, is it? I would have thought at that price.
Can you imagine adding that to cart and getting it through the post?
With a Royal Mail or something. Jesus
but you laugh though. There's a company called Blue Nile that sell diamonds, and if the diamond's a certain amount, they'll come to your house, and you'll have one of those guys that's dressed, with the helmet on, with the suitcase, and you have to sign for it. I mean, he actually shows it to you, and then he takes a picture and then signs for it and then leaves. It's really high secure.
What are your opinions on tourbillons and Alex? Because I can't stand the cutouts that tourbillon watches have. I think it spoils the dial. Although the tourbillon should be on show, because that's the whole point of a tourbillon. It should be on show to show off the tourbillon. I don't get tourbillon watches which have tourbillons in the back of the watch.
It's because of the oil, because of the sunlight. It's because of the. I heard Patek Philippe put it in the back because of the lubrication in terms of drying out. I don't know how true that is.
Laurent Ferrier do that. Laurent Ferrier do the tourbillon at the back, so you get to appreciate, the movement at the back in the clear case back. But I like what Cyrus did in that chronograph, where they've tipped it at 180 degrees, the tourbillon in between the chronograph. I think that's fantastic. That piece.
But we all must remember where the tourbillon, why it was invented. Where it's an expensive. It's unnecessary and expensive now. You don't need one.
This is what you call a luxury. It's like, do you need the chronograph function, Alex? It's the same thing, isn't it? Really? Do you need a watch really that's going to take you 1,000 meters as a no? It's just a luxury. I think people buy them just to say I've got a tourbillon. It's like if you're one of those collectors where you've got every type of complication, but you don't have a tourbillon, you're probably going to think about buying one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I would, I agree. But I would say if we're going to talk about tourbillons, I think Tag Heuer make a very affordable tourbillon. How much is it, Thomas? Is it 12 grand or 15 grand? Is it 18?
It's 18K, isn't it? I think so.
When I say affordable, I mean it's
a Tag Heuer tourbillon. It doesn't it's like Omega did the same thing, didn't they? They've got the tourbillon, which is like I don't know how much that goes for, 80K or something.
Oh, it was in the middle, wasn't it? It was in the center of the movement. I'm
sure it's a great piece, but it's just to showcase what they can do, I guess.
Well, originally in pocket watches, weren't they? But I don't know. I think
it's a complication that I wouldn't mind in a clock, if that makes sense, an ornament, rather than wear it. Something visually would be good for me, like that you have it as something on your desk, you see it. You know what I'm getting at? As an ornament, rather than have it on my wrist.
But then why would you have a tourbillon on a static?
I don't know, but it would look cool, wouldn't it? Someone comes into the office, you're like, look, you like my clock? Very nice. I remember when I got into the hobby, right? I had the Seiko clock with even the bird used to pop out. And one guy goes to me, "D, that is one ugly looking clock." I thought, you're right, it's ugly, isn't it? I took it out of the office, but no, all good, all fun and games.
I'm not into clocks. I can't stand clocks.
Do you know why? When we do like a bench test for watchmakers, especially when they're trainees, we get them to work on clocks, Alex, as well. We're
That's
seeing
good, but
There you
sorry,
go,
go on. Go on. Carry on, Thomas. Carry on, D. No, let D finish. Sorry,
No,
Thomas.
let's look at the Tag Heuer. It's fine. I don't think anyone's going to want to listen to me about clocks.
Go for it. Carry on.
No, it's good. I'm good, guys. I'm good. So this is the Tag Heuer. Wasn't there a GMT one, or was this the one you're talking about, Alex? Was there a GMT one as well?
Oh, I was talking about the one that was in like a carbon fiber finish. It was an earlier version of this. For me, this actually kind of is very, very subtle, Torbjorn. It's not really in your face, is it?
It doesn't do anything for me though, Alex. This, to be fair.
No, it's okay. It's got
on it or anything.
The case is very generic, but
it
at
looks
least
like an open heart. It looks like an open heart. It doesn't look like you look at the finishing on it, Alex, as well. It just looks. There's a bit of satin finish there. It looks like that's been cut out with a laser. The rest,
Yeah, okay. It's an entry level Tourbillon,
Watch, it's not terrible.
It's still 20 grand.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money for that, Alex.
What does Yanni say? He's not. He doesn't fucking like it. He's not
impressed with that.
Yanni, if you can, what I'm not happy with this tourbillon. I'll tell you why. First of all, there's no tachymeter. You can't really knock the seconds out on this thing. What are you going to use it for? I think a tourbillon is it's a kind of, it's a way of watchmakers saying, look at us, look what we can do, and consumers like myself or collectors like Thomas saying, look what we can afford. What's the practicality of this? What's the actual value of Tag Heuer doing this? I mean, if you
can say that about anything though. Sorry to interrupt you. You can say that about anything though, but I understand what you're saying.
This is like a Renault Clio when they did the V6 engine, Alex, and put it in the back seat. When they ripped it up.
What do you mean that was a great car?
That was a cool car, though.
That was in James Bond. That car was in James Bond.
It was a good car, but, would you really buy one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What? And now a man of your magnitude wouldn't be dead in that car.
No, I would buy a Lancia Integrale HF Turbo, right-hand drive.
Yeah, when you do the indicators, they're like it's like a rubber sweet. They're so poorly made, though, Alex. Though, to be fair.
Yeah, but they're just so boxy, aren't they? They just look the shit, don't they? Just look really good.
They do look tough, but
is that the Delta Integrale, or is this?
Yes.
Right.
No, it's the original one, HF
the
Turbo.
One that Henry Toivonen killed himself in the Corsica Rally.
Oh, I don't know about that. But you just told me.
I'm showing my age now. The Lancia Delta Integrale, and I think they only came out in left-hand drive. So the thing is, Alexandros, when you're driving that thing with your wristwatch, then as you're driving it down Oxford Street, nobody will be able to see your Tag Heuer with your tourbillon on it. So see, there's that quote.
How chavvy would that be, Alex, man, wearing that Tag Heuer with a tourbillon on one of those cars? You just... Oh, mate, honestly, look. Hey, Mr. James, you also feel him.
That guy's got... Well. Yeah, thanks, Mr. GMT. They're saying that I never expect to be... Oh, hang on. Can we just... Yeah.
Sorry.
I never expect to be able to read the time on my watches. Most people, Dodger, who buy watches, don't know how to use a tachymeter bezel.
Yep.
It's true. That's true, yeah.
And I find, when I was on another live stream comparing wristwatches, I have a friend that was in the army with him, and he's got the Omega Speedmaster, and he times his eggs with it.
Yes, best way you can get a good egg.
And I have a Rolex GMT Master, and I timed my ex's eggs with it, and I got that wrong, and now we've got a daughter.
Thomas, I've got a question for you, Thomas.
Yeah, go for it.
On the Submariner, you got the bezel, yeah?
Yeah.
Turns one way.
Yeah.
Why does it turn one way?
To stop you from...
That's cool. That's correct. when you're
to stop you when you're diving, to stop you from so you know your depth rating, so you know how long you've got, how much time you've got in the oxygen tank.
Yeah,
So
but why does it only move one way though, not both?
So that you don't move it back, and what am I trying to say? So that you don't.
Let's not put Thomas on the spot. Look, what Alex is.
Look.
So if you're diving, basically, you know exactly what you set the timer so it doesn't move. You know what I mean, Alex, when you're diving.
Yeah,
To
so
make it for layman terms, anyway. So
shows less than more if you do
Right.
accidentally nudge it.
Right,
That was
you're all wrong. Right, it's nothing. Right, I'll tell you guys. Listen, I'll come to Thomas's rescue right now, Alex. Beating up on Thomas just because it's your birthday.
I didn't mean Thomas. I'm sorry
Alex,
for putting you on the
Alex
spot.
this
guy's
I didn't
beating
mean
up.
to. No.
This guy's beating up. It's like, listen.
Sorry.
I feel Alex has got a bit of the university challenge, right? Off, right?
Let's ask Alex. Get all your questions now in the chat. What you want Alex to answer, and John will check if it's correct.
I'll fact check him. I will fact check him. I will do a fact hunt.
Even it could be about protein, it can be about watches.
Absolutely.
He's only got 2 subjects Alex knows about. And
yeah,
that's
nothing else.
Gym and watches.
Nothing else.
So, you see, the thing is, Thomas, the only thing Alex is focused on right now is getting those super chats for his PRX. Right? that watch, listen, I am going to write to TISO in the work and tell them I want a bezel on that digital watch. I want a dive bezel on that digital watch. Can you imagine?
I've just got a message from the governor. He apologizes. His internet's not working very well, but he's trying to watch the stream and he sends his regards and he sends his apologies. Paul, no problem, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Governor, I've rubbed shoulders with the governor at watch events. This is the first time I've rubbed shoulders with the governor in virtual reality. I'm in the Royal County of Berkshire and he's off to get more horses for his polo stables. You see, one thing about Paul Thorpe, right? He likes to kind of portray this image of being a London boy, an East End boy. He's a posh bloke. He's got stables full of Andalusians. He jets around the world. He's a gentleman.
I'll tell you what Paul's actually doing. He's actually got a JLC and he plays polo.
Yeah, absolutely.
When he's
you got that. You absolutely get that. Do you see what we're talking? Paul slips it and the governor goes, yeah, I got to go.
He's a method actor. He's just acting to be this.
Absolutely.
This character.
I got to go and get myself some pound. You see the way he said ponies, polo ponies, and then suddenly the conversation goes on to Gégé Le Culture Reversos.
So John, Yanni, tell me how I'm wrong about the bezel. Come on.
Right. The reason you're wrong about the bezel, it's got nothing to do with safety, and it's always better to indicate less than more so you don't drown, and also your elapsed time. We get all that. We get all this COMEX, that we get all the testing, we get all the depth rating, we get all the 5-6 rule in safety with sat diving, saturation diving, we get all that. But the reason, Thomas and Alex, the bezel goes one way, right, is so Russell Edmonds, the mad watch collector, can twist the bezel. That's the only reason. Nothing at all.
I thought he was going to tell us something that we didn't know tonight.
Yeah, it's like click, bezel face. Click. But that's the only reason it goes one way.
This is a good question.
Great question.
Von Kroll, this is a good question. Now, Dee, you go first.
Look, I think visually it looks amazing because you can see the dials. Looks like you can put your hand in to the dial and pick it out. But long term, the outer AR coating can mess up the crystal if you're wearing it every day. And you have to, that's what Omega replace all the time, from what I understand, with the AR coating. So the underside AR coating is probably better. But visually, I think it's good because, from taking, videos of watches or taking photographs, watches that have AR coating on both sides of the crystal make life a lot easier to capture, rather than Rolex are quite hard to photograph.
Thomas?
AR coating, yeah, it can add a sort of mirror
The blue
finish,
sheen.
a sort of shiny mirror finish, make it shine more, make you get more of a sort of glaze on it that makes it more mirror-like, the glass.
It makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? To be fair,
but I don't know, Von Cruel. I haven't thought about it that much, to be honest with the AR coating. I know that it's better on the inside of it. It's meant to be better on the inside of the glass, rather than the outside.
if you ever look at it with a loop and you've got AR coating on that, you actually can see the scratches of the AR coating on the sapphire crystal.
Yep.
This is the thing. If you don't, it's not necessarily visible by the naked eye, but if you get it on a loop and you look close, you're like, oh my God, you just don't want to wear your watch again. You're like, oh man, this has pissed me off.
Yep.
If you've got OCD, it's not good.
No, that's definitely. Yanni?
Good question, Von Cruel. Adrian Barker did a review of the Omega Seamaster. He purchased it new. It was a white dial, polar dial Seamaster. And the Omega placed the anti-reflective coating on the outer and on the inner. Now, if we look at this from two angles, the first is that the Omega Seamaster is a semi-professional dive watch, and the refractive indices will be reduced if the AR coating is on both sides. So you can actually look at that watch, look at the hands, and get back to your dive times. So from a safety critical point, from a functional point, it is advisable to have the AR coating on both sides. However, it's not going to last, because what is an AR? What is an anti-reflective coating? Well, an anti-reflective coating is polymethyl methacrylate, and you've got sapphire glass. The polymethyl methacrylate will only withstand 20 megapascal impact, and it's got a Mohs hardness a lot less. The Mohs hardness scale, Vickers hardness, is a lot less than your sapphire, your mineral crystal, or your hardlex crystal. So putting the AR coating on the outside, it's not going to last. So you're going to be back to Omega or wherever to get that replaced. Rolex have never put AR coating on the outside; they put it on the inside. And here's another point, right? Now, if the sunlight is shining through your crystal, be it sapphire, hardlex, or mineral, you're going to get a heat differential from the outside to the inside, and the polymethyl methacrylate can induce a static charge. You know when you rub your hair with acrylic.
I wasn't expecting this answer, but
Can
go on.
I say one thing? This is the difference between a watch technician and a watch engineer below.
Yeah.
The innovator. Did you invent AR coating, by the way, Yanni?
Right. Now, yeah.
I'm out.
So if you have the polymethyl methacrylate on the inside of the on the glass, and let's walk this through in stages, Von Cruel, right? And you've got sunlight and heat going through two different materials, sapphire and acrylic, right? You're going to induce a static charge on the outside of the polymethyl methacrylate. Below that, you're going to have your lume on your indices. Why does lume degrade? Does it just suddenly disappear and fall off? No, it's embedded within the indices. And what material do they use to embed the lume in the indices? Polymethyl methacrylate. So if you've got two coatings of polymethyl methacrylate with a differential static charge between them, positive to negative, anode to cathode, it's going to start drawing out the material. And that is why you get lume degradation. That is why you get patina, because you get two dissimilar materials. Now, if you get sapphire, hardlex, or a mineral crystal against your polymethyl methacrylate or your plastic, the discharge event is going to take years and years, because the micro voltage across isn't that great. But if you get two similar materials and one is charged by sunlight and one is not, the degradation rate's a lot faster. So AR coating on the inside could potentially in time cause a greater degradation of your lume. So if you want patina, go for AR coating on both sides. And that is why, with reference and respect to Dee's point, if you've got obsessive compulsive and you don't like the scratches, you're going to continually replace that crystal. And how much does that cost on an Omega Seamaster?
But they wouldn't necessarily get patina on the dial because it is a ceramic dial.
Yep.
To correct you, boss.
Yeah, the dial is ceramic.
So I'm
But
trying to
what are
get
the
I'm trying-
indices?
Okay, fair enough. You got me on that one, boss.
I'm not your boss. I'm just.
I'm
just,
winding you up. Look,
No,
we
no.
should really declare that Yanni is something to do with the horological board, but you have to guess what his
Right.
role is within the board.
Right.
Is he the main guy? Is he the boss? Is he a technician? Is he Alex's former lecturer? Is he his teacher?
Right.
Your guess
Okay,
is as good as mine.
Here's one for you. Do you like different time telling devices? Time telling methods, should I say? Rather than just the plain dial of a watch. Do you like different time telling methods, like on watches?
Thomas, that's a good question. I've tried when I've been out running to run with a sundial on my wrist. And people have got like tourbillons and tachymeter bezels, and I go like with a sundial. That's a different time telling method because you're going to get solar time.
This, for example, this watch. I've got one of these coming in the middle of this year, and
right.
You're breaking my heart now, Thomas.
I
Thomas,
know
You're breaking my heart now. It's my birthday
Yeah,
stream.
Thomas, no, he wants to get something a bit different, unique, a bit funky. This
My
is the one.
birthday stream, and he's
Alex, I
showing
know
me.
the perfect watch for you, mate.
Banayamo.
Alex, I know the perfect watch for you. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Hublot Antikythera.
Yes, because that
People
tells
don't know.
history.
People don't know about that watch. They
They
talk
don't.
about Hublot, all this nonsense. Bring it up.
Antikythera, yeah.
This
Can we
is
bring
the.
that up? No, but can we just go back to what Thomas showed us first?
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
I'm being rude. And then we're
Thomas
going
has
to see the
been to Lidl
Antikythera.
in the middle again. This is a Lidl in the middle watch, isn't it? Come on.
No, this is the Audi special.
This is an Aldi special watch. Come on, he's been all day again for his watches. That's because Thomas went into Argos and thought, I'm not waiting 5 minutes for my Casio. I'm going to Aldi.
GMT, thank you
Alex
very
is
much.
a rich man tonight.
Thank you very much, GMT. I really appreciate it.
We're
Watching
getting
from Australia.
closer and closer to that PRX.
And also we have Uncle Meridian. Happy birthday, Alex. What's your prefer on the 3185 and 3186? I would say the 3186 because it has the upgraded balance. But they're just both good movements. But I would say that I tend to get a better reading from the 3186 balance due to the upgraded hairspring. But they're fantastic. But listen, the 31 for me, if it was a car engine, it would be one of the best engines in the world.
Could you power a car with a 3186? So the car's got to be this big. Like, how big's the car got to be? It's like a little Skillextrix car.
Yanni's on his LSD now.
Limited slip differential.
Yanni, I mean, Thomas, when are you getting that watch then?
Yeah, Thomas.
Coming in the middle of the year.
Nice.
Can you get a refund?
Is that like 3K? Is it that one?
Yeah, 3K.
3,000 sterling.
Yeah.
What's the movement inside it?
1,000 Swiss francs. All right, Alex. It's a Miata.
It is a Miata 9015.
What's the movement in it?
It's a 9015, which is a 2824 Miata clone.
No, it's not. Please, Thomas.
It is.
No.
It's got a 42 hours power reserve, right? And
I couldn't care if it had 420 powers up.
If anything goes wrong, Alex couldn't even fix it. Just take
I wouldn't touch it.
Simpsons or Watch Lab, they do it in half an hour. Because
Thomas,
they've got a Miata account, haven't they? So it's all
Thomas,
good.
stay on the
All
stream.
right, Thomas, it's all good.
Oh, leave me alone.
Have you paid for it, Thomas?
Look, this is a guy that's got the moon swatch in his safe. He's got a moon swatch in his safe. At least he's mechanical, Alex.
Who's got a moon swatch in his safe?
You got.
Yeah, because I don't know where else to put it. It's from my phone. I just left it in there. You don't know what else I've got. You don't know what else I've got in that safe.
Yeah, well, you got your Tizot. There you go.
Look at this.
Is it Hublot Antikythera?
This is after the Greek first computer.
Well, they found in the sea, didn't they?
Yeah.
I've got to hand it to Hublot. This must be the only watch in the Hublot collection where the nuts and bolts are aligned. Well done, Hublot. Well done, Hublot. Magnifique. Well done, Hublot. Look, they managed to align the nut. Well, almost, not quite. The bottom right's a little bit off.
So is it a perpetual calendar then?
It's got everything, moon face, you name it. This is
It is crazy. Don't even ask me how it works. I don't know.
Can you
It's
tie
got
eggs with it?
It's got the zodiac on it as well.
yeah, it's got everything. It is mad. This is watchmaking in terms of complication wise at its best.
Belongs. Great comment, Brian. Belongs back in the sea.
Look, you could just look. Let's be honest. The case isn't the best. They've just literally replicated the complication. But this is Alex's watch. This is going to be called Alexandros Photi, the light, a watch that brings you back to the light.
Oh, listen, look, it's amazing that they've managed to micro-engineer that, and just.
Well, hang on a minute. Hang on. Micro-engineer. How big is the wrist? I mean, for all you know, this could be a gorilla's wrist.
It's about 10 inch wrist.
It is a big watch. It is a big watch.
It's a tree trunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas, I can't get out of my head that you're going to buy that watch.
Oh, I've bought it, Alex. I paid for it.
Oh, you bought it? You paid for it?
Oh, listen to him.
Did you pay on credit card?
I paid with PayPal.
Oh, okay. It doesn't matter.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
You know what though? Is it you got to check the authenticity of that, because obviously Miyota can just be anyone, could just rip that.
That's true.
I don't want my watches to be all the same, do I?
Listen, you've got to have a bit of variety, Alex, right? You can't all buy the same old watches. It's going to be boring as hell, isn't it, to be fair?
That's why I asked Yanni, what do you think the difference?
Alex has been two-faced here because someone that we know showed us that watch. And he's brilliant, brother. He loved it, mate. He only changed his mind when he found out it was a Miyota movement. He's watched snobbery come out.
Tell me, what the? When did I do that?
At
When
my
did
show,
I do
man,
that?
At my show. One of my boys came up to you and was like, look at my watch. You're like, very nice, man.
I had to be polite. I couldn't say your watch is awful. Could I?
Only because the guy had bigger guns than him. Otherwise, he
didn't have bigger guns than me.
Does this Hublot have anti-reflective coating on the outside or the inside?
It doesn't even look like he's got any crystals, so I'm sure it does.
Let's go back to the anti-reflective coating anyway. So for me, I get a lot of people, a lot of customers will ask me that they want to change their glass, and I'll say, well, what's wrong with it? They say, there's scratches. I'm like, no, it's not the scratches. It's the AR coating that's wearing off. And it has that real awful blue, purpley tinge that's like wavy. So I say, look, rather than change your sapphire glass, let's just polish the top off. So I just polish it off and leave the underneath.
Do you polish it off with toothpaste or Brasso?
Neither.
Come on, Alex.
Neither.
If Brasso, you were to get a heat gun on that, right? Would it come off?
I wouldn't say I don't do a heat gun. I use certain compounds and I just polish it off and ultrasonic it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be careful what ultrasonic you use, because if you use certain ultrasonic, I found it cost me quite dearly. I once stuck a Seamaster bezel in an ultrasonic tank, the James Bond one. It was blue. It came out like grey.
Ghost bezel. How cool is that?
Talking of bezels, I know people that have stuck the old vintage Submariner bezels in ovens, so it changes the color.
Yeah,
it makes it look. It gives it a patina.
Give it a smoke.
That's the word we were talking about, wasn't it, Yanni? Today, patina. Now, Thomas,
one on top of the barbecue. You know, if I want to get that look.
Thomas, what does patina mean to you?
Image, basically.
Hang on, Alex. What is this?
What's this picking? Listen, Alex. Listen, I don't like where this.
No. I
don't like where this is going, man. I don't like.
No, I was just starting with Thomas.
I know it's your birthday, but I don't mean you can take the piss.
No, I was just starting with Thomas and then going up, but I can start with you, Dee.
Okay. What I think of patina is when Alex is off colour, when he hasn't had a holiday for 10 years. How's that?
You tell him, Yanni. You tell him.
What's the patina now, mate?
What does patina mean?
age degrading, isn't it? It's age damage.
Let me show you patina. This is patina. Look.
Age damage.
Oh, this is not going to work.
That's an Omega, isn't it?
No, it's a Zenith.
Zenith.
Stellina 37. That's patina. Even the handsets have crumbled. The dial's patina. It's gone like a caramel color from over the years of sunlight. It's a very odd watch. Circa early 60s, I believe.
So Thomas, if Dee, Thomas, Yanni, if you were to put patina in the likes of a car, would you say it's worth more or less?
Well, the car industry is a bit different, Alex.
But why should it be different though?
Some people might want. Some people, car collectors, might want the original bits in the car, so they might want. I mean,
Look,
you get a Porsche collector. Say,
there's certain things.
I want damaged metal on the back, or I want damaged. I want the original chassis, or I want the original, whether it's rusty or not. You know,
they do restore them. A lot of them. The only thing you can't restore properly is the actual, like the light fixings. You know, they can brush them out, but the orange indicators and certain parts. But most the old cars had some real good quality stainless steel on them that you can polish out the rust. It's only that the leather interior, Alex, that would patina, you know, crack, and you have to restore it because otherwise you're going to be sitting on springs, if that makes sense. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to drive the car. Steering wheels and stuff like that, alloy wheels. These are stuff that you have to restore really if you want it to pass MOT and stuff like that.
Well, I had a customer that invited me to his house many, many years ago, and he had a garage that was refrigerated. Right, it was a cool, like it was all temperature graded.
Is this where the dead bodies were kept?
He didn't show me those, but he showed, and he had like highly collectible cars. Weren't my sort of cars, like Ford RS turbos, original Ford Escorts, right?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? They're not. Oh, he had these cars. He had an RS 2000 and RS turbos, and
he's a Vauxhall man. He likes the SRI. You know,
not really my type of car.
He's a Vauxhall man. That's right.
They're not really my type of car. I'm not
gonna. A Delta Integrale. Yeah, not really my type of car. My type of car's got a blue badge on it. Really, Alex?
So anyway, he was like, he opened the bonnet and he was showing me like, can you see that nothing has been touched on this car? Even the screws still have the blue. Like there's like a blue solution they put on the screws to show if they've been turned. It's like everything is.
It's called Loctite.
No, that's the inner threads, John. On the outside, it's like a lamp.
It's just because you're
picking
on
birthday boy.
So everything was like bang on, and the seats weren't touched, and the speedometer had like about 400 or 500 miles on it. And as much as I was impressed, it was amazing, but I just couldn't. It didn't do anything for me.
Look, I'll be honest with you, look, because of the sort of age of the car, but Brian McCarthy's comment there, the Ford Sierra Cosworth, when that came out, it was a modern looking car for the time. When it was launched, you know, it was modern. You know, even Mercedes basically got Cosworth to help on the 190. You know, and they took that engine off them as well because it was very advanced for its time. Ford back then were making some luxury cars for the Granada Gears. Do you remember? And even Vauxhall Senator. They used to dominate that market in the UK anyway at the time before the Germans. The Germans, Mercedes and BMW were far more premium. They sort of stepped down to go into that market. Alex, you know what I mean?
No, I like the Escort Cosworth. That was an amazing car.
You like the Cosworth SDI?
No, I like the first Escort Cosworth with the crazy body kit on it. I remember that.
I remember the good old days with the Honda CRXs, the VTEX 1.6. You think, yeah, I had one of those. So I was like, my go-to, I've got the 1.6 VTEC. Your Ford will break down, but mine will pass. It's MOT, no problem.
Now, every Greek fish and chip shop owner had a Mercedes 190e. It was either in white or grey.
Wasn't just the Greek fish and chip shop owners, the Italians.
They were nice. They were nice.
Italians as well.
Can I
Yeah.
just rewind a second to Robert Marshall's comment? You're not going to like this one, Alex. I know you're not. But thoughts on high accuracy quartz? I mean, stuff like this, like the Grand Seiko 9F. What are your thoughts? You know, I mean, accuracy to within 10 seconds a year. What are your thoughts on high accuracy quartz?
Give you silence. Silence is golden here, Thomas. Why don't we push the button and say, what do you think about the Belova Precisionist?
Right. Can I step in and answer the question about the high accuracy quartz?
Go on, Yanni.
How long have we got, Yanni? You know?
Right. Brian McCarthy, right. Again, Adrian Barker did the review on the high accuracy Grand Seiko, which is accurate to 5 seconds a year.
Yeah.
What? Hang on a minute. You got to change your watch manually twice a year. Right? So what's the point of having a watch? It's, you got to stop the thing. Plus, you've got all the, 30 days of September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except for February alone, which are a year.
Change your day. Yeah.
So on this high accuracy quartz, Brian, you've got to change your watch like 5 or 6 times.
Robert Marshall asking this, Robert.
Sorry. Brian McCarthy saying, "Is this Open University?" Yes, it is. Robert Marshall's asking this. Thoughts on high accuracy quartz? Right. I'm going to give you my answer from a Scottish perspective on high accuracy quartz. The battery has to be changed once every year, and it's £110. Right? And that is the price you're paying for high accuracy in Grand Seiko. And Bulova did their high accuracy thing at 260 hertz, kilohertz, whatever it was, their mechanism that was used. How accurate do you need to be?
There is something that is more accurate than these. You can get there's a Citizen Nighthawk, I recollect.
Yeah.
That is an eco drive. I think it's a GPS or atomic.
Yeah.
You don't even have to change it. You'll have that eco drive system for 20 years. It won't need changing the capacitor on that.
Right.
And you've got no issue. And it's 100% accurate.
Yeah. So, D, what you're trying to say? We're not going to get Alex's PRX. We're going to get a Citizen Nighthawk.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's it. Thoughts on high accuracy quartz? Robert, you can't get accuracy. How accurate do you need to be? Now, this is a great question from Robert on accuracy, because it kind of fits in with patina, and the Japanese aspect of patina is wabi-sabi, which is the contrast of a lure. That if something is so perfect, then it becomes imperfect. If something is so highly accurate that it's accurate to 5 seconds a year, then it casts an aspersion on our very function as human beings. We are governed and determine our lives by who we are, by our fibre of our being, by our souls, where we are skin and bone and sinew and muscle. And do we really need to be down to 5 seconds a year? We have imperfection. Look at the Mona Lisa. That's an imperfection, but it's perhaps the most impressive portrait that's ever been painted, but it's not perfect. And high accuracy quartz really outlines and serves to outline and highlight our own imperfections. And this gets back to wabi-sabi or patina. Would you not be happier with a watch that's 10 seconds a day, 20 seconds a day, that it moves in and out with this amplitude and its beat error, and it moves in and out with temperature? And then what about the tourbillon? Wasn't that meant to make the watch more accurate in different physical positions? So high accuracy quartz, it's an open-ended question, and everybody's got a different answer to it. For me, it would only serve to remind me of my age and the fact I've gone through more than half my life, and I've got to look forward to death and to do everything I can with the remaining days. And you have these death watches as well that count down. You put in your stats and your figures, and it counts down the days and hours until your death. High accuracy quartz, good question. There's no real answer to it. Over to you guys. What do you think?
Well,
I think they've got a place. I mean, I think there's a place for them.
Grab and go. Let's be honest. Sometimes if I'm in a rush, I ain't got. Honestly, there's times I'm running late. I just want to grab a watch. I'll look at a quartz watch, just grab that, and I'm gone. If that makes sense. That's the only time I'd wear. Or when I'm on holiday, I do wear my G-Shock. I'm not gonna lie. I wear a G-Shock when I'm on holiday. When I'm in the pool, when I'm snorkeling, when I'm diving, which is very rarely. Alex,
there's nothing that's important in life that's 5 seconds in or out, gaining or losing. I'm sorry, but it just takes the emotion out of a watch.
Absolutely.
It's clinical. It's like driving the newest. It's like driving an electric car.
Yeah,
absolute big. It's just emotionless, like driving a high-end Porsche. You can't beat the old Porsches where it was just or a TVR, where it was just a seat and a steering wheel, and your life was just you're thinking, oh shit, this car doesn't have any safety features. It just gives that I just don't get it.
When I went to the BMW dealership and he's trying to convince me about getting an i5 rather than an 850 Grand Coupe because I just love the exhaust note. I know that one's probably faster and all the rest of it, but I just love it when you start a cold start is just music to my ears.
Oh,
there's nothing better than that. It just feels homely. Amazing. The other one, I don't feel. It feels wrong. It feels like I've gone to hospital or something. You know what I mean? It just, doesn't feel right. I mean, maybe I'm just getting old. That's the thing. Everything is changing. But, the good thing about watches, it will remain the same. This is the good thing about watches. We're not like any other industry.
Like Robert Wood said, you can get a solar G-Shock with radio control for $60, and that'll do the same thing. So
well, yeah, I mean, because we went through the era. I think it was in the 70s when quartz was coming out and Swiss watchmaking was on its arse. But
there's
they
a
managed
massive market for it, Alex. Let's be honest. There is a huge market for quartz, whether we like it or not. Someone who's looking for a watch that isn't into the hobby of mechanical watches, the first thing they're going to look at, $200. I'm going to get myself a Seiko or quartz or whatever it may be, fashion watch. That's what they're getting, is a quartz watch.
Yeah.
A lot of the fashion watches are quartz, aren't they? So, and if it says Swiss made, it's a Ronda Swiss movement. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the comments that are coming through from Von Cruel, Brian McCarthy, that I'll just read this one. That Von Cruel makes a great point. He said, if you think, sorry, I've lost the point. Something about if you think of quartz entirely in terms of what it is not and what it cannot offer, then it's no good to you. Yeah, as a kind of philosophical point, I'm going to read something about, because we're talking about the Seiko, the Grand Seiko from Wabi Sabi. The traditional Japanese aesthetic of Wabi Sabi or patina is a worldview centered on the acceptance of transience. We're not permanent. There's no permanence in our lives and imperfection. So as we go through life and we face the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, the aesthetics is sometimes described as one of appreciating beauty that is imperfect, like a fine wine. And it's impermanent, it's incomplete in nature. And this is prevalent in many forms of art, Eastern art, Western art. And if we look at the Parthenon marbles, Alex, this is something we're going to speak about. The Parthenon marbles, they're not perfect. They've been damaged. They've been stolen. They've been appropriated.
Elgin marbles, yeah.
Yeah, and yet they are perhaps, for many people, the most precious things for the Parthenon, and the Greek nation want their property back. Doesn't matter. We want we want our property back. That's something that, you know, take the marbles home in whatever condition, we'll take them back. And you know, this is something about wabi sabi, patina, and time. The 5-second super accurate quartz wants to achieve perfection in an imperfect world. And as this Earth rotates around the sun and the moon rotates around the Earth, we have something called the Maunder minimum, which is that minimum as time is expanded, dilates, and contracts, that the only constant that we know about that we can relate to is the speed of light, and everything else can dilate or contract. So whether we have a super accurate quartz at 5 seconds a year or a tourbillon to counteract the forces of gravity in different planes, these are man-made objects which are trying to attain and achieve perfection in an imperfect world. And in the solar system, time isn't perfect. So what man has created with these watches is an imperfection. It's like Prometheus with fire. And then you give mankind fire. So what happens if we give perfection into horology? Does this mean that everything else becomes bankrupt? Does this void everything else? Or does suddenly Seiko and Grand Seiko become the benchmark whereby everything else is measured in terms of the Salas brothers polishing, Zaratsu polishing, 5 seconds a year? Do Seiko, Grand Seiko want to set that benchmark? Or are we happy to go off?
That's what they specialize in, though.
Yeah.
Yundi. You know what I mean? They've got their own segment, which they, you know, if you're into Grand Seiko, you go in for that accuracy because you want that. You know, it is. You know, the Belova Alcatron is the only quartz that I think it's got character.
Yeah.
The other ones lack character because it's made slightly differently. It's got that little buzzing noise. You know what I mean as well. It's something a little bit different, a bit more retro.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day. I mean, what are your thoughts on those?
Again, this is like the retro thing is trying to getting back to a lost Arcadia, a lost time. And this is something that we want to go back to the 60s and the 70s, and we keep recreating something. But for one purpose, we know what the outcome was. We know what the end point was. We know we can get step off the carousel when the carousel stops. We know that we can step off because we know what the ending's going to be. But nobody gets off this planet alive. I'm just reading at some of these comments that J. Gray Sweater said haiku in a watch. Yeah. So these watches, they hark back to a lost Arcadia, but we know what the end point was, and they give us that kind of comfort feeling,
like Pac-Man.
Yeah,
exactly. Or Duck Hunt for Alex.
Yeah.
Duck Hunt, yeah.
So you know, when we finally got enough money for this PRX or this contraption that we're going to get for Alex's 50th, when you know I'll be in my 60s, Alex will get his 50th birthday. We'll go, do you remember in 2024 when we all sat down and what was it we were speaking about? We'll all be sitting meeting again. We won't actually remember what it was. It was like somebody said to me, an old fellow said, you know, I was talking to him. I said, you know, is there anything about age which you know, does it get better? Does it get what? I mean, when you get older. I mean, I'm 56, but I like to think of myself as being quite young. And this old fellow says, let me tell you, it wasn't Paul Thorpe, by the way. This old fellow said, it's you can still get the birds. Yeah, you can still get the girls. Yeah, you can chase them around and you can get them. And you can get a hold of all the girls. Yeah, it's great. It's great. And he paused for a minute and I was like, okay. So you can still get girls. Yeah, but once you got the girls, sometimes you don't know what it is you're going to do with them. I was like, okay. Right. So I was like, right. So you kind of forget why you were chasing the girls in the first place. So these are things, Alex, you'll have to look forward to when you get to your 50th, mate.
On a positive note, Alex, hopefully when you get that sort of age, you'll have more disposable income. You'll have all these quartz technicians working for you. Doing battery changes.
Yeah.
Because you will be limited to parts totally. So Alex will be the most two-faced guy saying, "Oh, I love quartz watches because I make a living out of them." You know?
These two technicians working for him downstairs.
Alex, Eco-Drive accredited.
Thomas, do you like the way that the Greeks are upstairs and us lot are downstairs? Do you like that? Do you like that? we're going to become like the quartz technicians. You like that? You know, downstairs, yeah, Alex, yeah, Yanni, can you fix me up? Can you stick another battery in this quartz? Yeah, so and then you know we're like the skivvies in the back room downstairs. You know.
No. Alex is the one downstairs in the dungeon, mate. This is the real dungeon that he works in.
Exactly.
It could be raining, snowing, anything could be going on. It could be rioting out there in Liverpool, but Alex would not have a clue what's going on. In his
I don't know.
Krill, yeah, Von Krill's come up with. I keep getting older, but they stay the same age. Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. But I mean, let's grow old disgracefully. Yeah, 2024. One thing I don't know, Thomas, if you can get this up. There was a very sweet and very heartwarming video from Audemars Piguet with their changeover in their CEO, and it was really nice. I watched this afternoon, and this was that Francois Benamias handed over to Ilaria Resta, and Audemars put out this really nice video. It's very, very funny, and it's the changing of the guard and the moving of the time. And what Francois Benamias has done with Audemars Piguet was quite incredible, and he's handed over to Ilaria Resta. I don't know if you can get that video up. It's only 2 minutes. It would be something nice for the guys to those the people.
Maybe for a super chat, if someone wants to see it, super chat in.
Yeah, it's a very, very funny video. It's a very funny video.
You might get copyright strike on that though as well. To be fair,
it's what? Sorry,
you might get copyright strike.
I don't think so. Audemars Piguet is Ilaria Resta and Francois Benamias. The real Holy Grail is a mechanical movement that does not need lubrication.
But that's what the coaxial was made for.
George Daniels. George Daniels. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, because I'm just downstairs. Yeah, you beat me to it, Alex. I'll poke you with my finger. There you go. That's it. So,
and then
push steps more. So, look, the whole point of the coaxial was, well, is less friction. You know, it was more of less friction, trying no lubricants, but they ended up lubricating it. I mean,
they unengineered it on purpose because they knew that it would cause less servicing, Alex. This is the truth. They unengineered it in the end because they know, oh my God, what have we done? We want to make money on servicing. This is not good.
I can't think of one mechanical movement that cannot be, that can go on without being serviced. I don't think it's possible, personally.
7750. It just gets noisier and noisier, but it still keeps on ticking. I've never got my True the Tiger serviced ever.
I've seen a wooden clock. I've seen a wooden clock that never needed lubricating, but a mechanical timepiece, a wristwatch, automatic, no, I just can't see it. Can't see it. They tried it. They tried using silicon parts, this and that, but still needs some sort of attention. Still needs to be serviced one way or another.
Okay, Alex, what happens if you don't service your watch? You've got a 3135 movement. You don't service it for 20 years. What happens?
So on a 3-1, apparently certain parts, the steel that was used, components in the service parts were a softer steel than what was in the 60s, 70s. So it was pretty common to find a 1570 or even a 3035 rotor axle that's never been changed and still in great condition. But on a 3-1, you'll always find that the rotor axles fail, and even the pivots start to score, they start to wear. And then you have the issue of the rotor itself moving slightly further down, touching the plate, scoring the plate. And I'll have to find a picture. I don't know. It's on my iPad, I think.
Again, some people will never service their watch. This is the truth. It's probably when they hand it down to the next generation where all the problems come.
It's not just that though, do they? They also, not only will they try and avoid to service it, but then they'll take it to someone that's cheap, and they won't service it properly. So they never get the full
Just
potential.
Get it ticking over, get it working. It's like getting a car going, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you get more afterwards.
So they never get the true potential of that watch. So when you think about it, it's a load of bullshit because they've gone and spent 10, 20, 30, 40 grand on a watch, and then they're cutting corners for it to be serviced. But the whole point of it being serviced is to obviously keep good time. So what's the point of spending all that money on the first place? Because you're only kidding yourself, because you're not going to get the full potential of it if it's not serviced correctly. That's why it's always important, if you use a watchmaker, just make sure that you know that he has access to the original parts. Put it in writing, have it put in writing, estimate, and if possible, get your old parts back unless they're part exchange parts.
So everybody who's watching that's never serviced their watch, to go towards Alex Protein Fund, go to www.perpetualtime.co.uk. Is it .com, Alex? I can't remember.
.com.
International, like I said, world famous.
Well,
the stage is yours, Alex.
No, look, I mean, if you don't use me, then fine, but you can always
don't use Alex, then you're gonna have problems. Right?
it's always best to see someone's previous work or examples of work. This is the thing. Everyone goes for the cheapest option. There's one company that everyone goes for, but the reason why everyone goes for them is because they quote so low, but when they get your watch, it's like double, triple, quadruple the price that they previously quoted, to the point where I had a customer that contacted me after getting their quotes, and my quote was about £100 less than Tag Heuer, official Tag Heuer service center. But this previous company that they went to quoted double that. Now, the reason why they quoted double that is because they were just sending them to Tag. So then you have to convince the customer that they're being overcharged, but they think that you're being too cheap. So
I'm guessing with Von Krul, is Von Krul some sort of watchmaker? Because the terminology that he's using, I'm quite impressed.
There's a lot of the watchmaking channels like Chronoglide and things like that. So I've seen him on there. Yeah,
he's very good. He's very good. The older gentleman that shows how he's servicing watches.
Yeah, servicing vintage watches.
Very, very good. Yeah, he's an exceptional. He's got many years of experience over me.
In the Netherlands.
Yeah. He's
talking about servicing and stuff. I mean, talk about something like the AP Code 1159 Universal RD4 that came out that won the GPHG Agidor. That 1,700,000 Swiss franc watch. 23 complications. How much do you think AP would charge you to service a watch like that?
How much was the watch originally? How much did it go for?
1.7 million Swiss francs. I'll just bring it up. Bear with me.
They'll probably charge 17 grand or something, maybe.
Really?
I'm guessing it must be their own. Let's have a look. Oh, okay.
23 complications. So it's a flyback chronograph, grand sonnery, super sonnery, perpetual calendar, tourbillon, everything. Does everything.
This is like the AP Antikythera.
It is. It is.
The case looks better. It's what Hublot couldn't do.
There's absolutely everything.
This is Antikythera, Alex.
Look. This. There'd probably be only one person in AP that can do that watch. It'll be a master watchmaker. Now, there's hardly any master watchmakers in the UK. Anyone that calls himself a
Roger
master watch.
Smith.
Well, yeah.
He's the only one, isn't it?
Yeah, Roger Smith, he definitely can be classed as a master watchmaker. You've got the likes of in London, Russell Taylorman.
There's one other one, and he's based in Liverpool. Master technician. Alexandros.
You got Russell Taylorman that I would definitely class as a master watchmaker. You got Stephen Hell, who marked my my WOSTEP exam papers. I would class him as a master watchmaker. Roger Smith, but there's not many. It's no different than the Caliber 101 movement that Jaeger-LeCoultre made, which the Queen used to wear that watch, where if you put it behind a matchstick, you can just about see the movement.
Can I ask you a quick question, Alex?
Yeah.
Carl F. Bucherer, that's been acquired by Rolex. Okay, we know they've acquired the boutiques, but Carl F. Bucherer watches, they have what they call the Mastery Lab of watchmaking, where they build in-house movements. How would you rate what they do? Because they've spent a hell of a lot of money of establishing those movements over the years. What are your thoughts on them?
Is there any sort of like examples of their work on the internet?
Yeah, if you ever look at the if Thomas can bring it up, the Carl F. Bucherer watches, you can see the complications they produce, because there's a few rumors that have gone around that obviously there's going to be a few special editions that Rolex will collaborate with them, because now they own them, of course. They do, I think they do even world timers, annual calendars, tourbillons, Alex, interesting stuff.
Yeah, let's have a look and see.
And not cheap either, by any means.
What sort of prices are we looking at?
I think they start about 25k.
Is it like the artisans of Geneva, the guys that were working on Rolex?
I don't know too much about them, but I was told that they've got what they call the Mastery Lab of watchmaking. They've recruited some of the best watchmakers from around the world. So I think that was one of the other reasons why Rolex was so keen to take over.
That was my Tiffany Blue. Sorry to barge in. That was my Tiffany Blue Dial, raising a few. Well, we'll try to raising some money for Alex's PRX fund. Von Krull said, "Did George Daniels say mission accomplished after the coaxial?" I don't know. We'll have to ask Roger Smith. But if you tune in next week, Von Krull, we might have an answer. We might even have Roger Smith on, so we can carry on the discussion about haute horlogerie and beat rates and your service intervals. We'll get somebody to answer that. Nick Nicola said he had a wooden watch with a wooden dial, the wooden hands, and it wouldn't work. Well, I've got a raisin watch, so it's stuck at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Now you see, this is now owned by Rolex, guys. Right? This is another brand that they've added to their collection. If you take away the boutique side, Alex, look.
So it is the company I thought it was, right? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if they're good or bad. I don't know. This is why I'm asking, really. I don't know. Can we are they off the shelf movements or what? Is this Mastery Lab thing for real? I don't really know too much about it. There's some other complications they've done as well.
It's a nice one. The flyback, I quite like that.
Flyback chronograph. That's not bad. Any
views
of the movement?
Is there a picture of the movement? Or
maybe if you scroll down, maybe.
No movement pictures. No.
Mm-hmm. Price on request, very like Rolex.
Yeah.
So are they? So Dee, has this company been bought out by Rolex or their stores?
Yeah. Bucherer. So they've got their own brand, and there's AP did Bucherer editions. I was with a navy blue look. They've got tourbillons there, Alex. Look.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? This is like what they've got, the Mastery Lab. I'm from my understanding, I think it is in house. The Mastery Lab they've got in house. Any of the movement there, Thomas? If you scroll up a little bit, it's that one there. That's it.
Struther's watchmakers. I would definitely class the lady as a master watchmaker.
It's amazing. I mean, if they can implement this into something with Rolex, special edition. This could be something very, very special. Because what it lacks at the moment is the brand.
Yeah, the brand isn't like a brand that
No.
that is well appreciated in the UK. I don't think you don't really see people buying these.
But look at that. I mean, that's not bad. That looks pretty good to me.
Minute repeater.
Minute repeater as well. Fantastic.
Sorbian. Yeah.
You see what I mean? I mean, this is like, this is decent stuff.
Yeah. No.
This is just icing on the cake, really, for them.
I like the gongs at the bottom for the minute repeater.
But no one's talking about this, though, because it is under their umbrella now. Are they going to continue doing this, or are they going to just scrap it? God knows.
I can't see that from a business point of view, Dee. Obliterating a watch is a potential is viable to do that just to maintain the brand, but then you're no self-respecting horologist, no self-respecting professional would do that to obliterate and destroy the competitors, because ultimately if you have competition it makes the breed stronger. So I think that taking a long-term view, I think they'll support the brand, find a niche for them, keep supporting them.
Well, it's part of the boutique, isn't it? You see them in there.
Yeah.
They've got them on display. AP do Bukhara editions as well. Tudor already have a bronze edition that they did. You can only buy it from Bukhara, So I expect Rolex to do a Bukhara edition, but I was thinking whether it would be a little bit more special than the other editions. You know what I'm getting at? So, well, look, only time will tell. But it's no one's really spoken about the fact that, yes, they've bought the boutiques. They've got 3 brands under their umbrella now. Tudor, Bukhara, but not just the boutique. There is actually a watch brand in there as well. So, look, the thing is, from the watchmakers that I spoke to, because that I recruit for Rolex. I'm not going to lie. We recruit for them. And, they have had contact with the Mastery Lab. I don't know what's going on. We'll soon find out.
I think that with Rolex taking over Bukhara, they'll maintain the brand. I don't think that Rolex are going to behave like General Motors when they took over Saab, and they starved Saab back to health, and now we don't have Saab anymore, and that's a tragedy. And Saab were fantastic cars. I've had a few myself. I think that I think they'll be maintained. They're excellent watches. Somebody put up Rebecca and Craig Struthers watchmakers. I think in time, if this channel and this live chat picks up, it would be nice to get Craig and Rebecca Struthers on to give us their perspective on wristwatches and to add and maybe give some money to Alex's PRX fund as well. No doubt, Alex, when we get that watch, and if the PRX ever breaks down, I know that you might not be able to fix it, so we can
look at that dial, Alex. Look at that, guys. That dial looks amazing.
Minute repeater.
The minute repeater. Look at that. That's nice. Yeah,
very nice.
You see what I mean, Alex? This is.
Yeah, I mean, look, that new CEO of Rolex, I do believe that, from what you're telling me, Dee, he is.
Yeah, Jean-Frédéric Dufour, he's been brought in to pretty much take them to the next level, but fall in line with the ethos and culture of Rolex, but develop them and really consolidate them as not that they need to, but make sure they're so far ahead from anybody. There's no one can catch them. And that is pretty much the case, isn't it? But,
Well, Rolex got into annual calendars with the Sky Dweller, didn't they? So they're doing complications now. So, I mean...
they're doing things that we never thought we would see. This is what I mean. We can expect the unexpected now from Rolex for the first time.
Rolex chiming watch. Could you see one of those?
Maybe an alarm one. Like the Tudor advisor?
The memo box.
Yeah.
Like the JLC memo box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They might be able to do a world timer with the 1908, I was thinking. as a really cool dress piece. Elevate that, because that could be like the flagship. Maybe a moon. It's more likely to be a moon face, because I think they did that with the Cellini, didn't they? They did a moon face.
Yes, Cellini. Yeah, they did moon phase, and Cellini's never been really
Quite a nice piece. They look quite nice, but it gets no love.
Someone told me that they do sell a lot of Cellinis, whatever you want to call them.
They sell them because it's a way of you getting into the other pieces that you want, Alex. You say to them, I want a Cellini, you probably get whatever you want after that.
They're well made, the Cellinis.
Very well made.
Yeah.
Very well made.
It's Che, isn't it? It's not C. It's Cellini.
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 I think if you look at this Monero, sounds like Monaro, the V8 made by General Motors. If you look at this Monero and you look at the aesthetics of that and compare back to the Breguet that we're looking at earlier on, this is a far more integrated, aesthetically appealing and complete piece. This is nice.
It's symmetrical, isn't it? Everything is balanced on here. It's got some little details. I mean, these are. Would you say these are even underrated, guys? They don't have there's not that much marketing spend because you think of the boutique rather than your own brand.
Yeah, the boutique brand is underrated. I like the Monero flyback chronograph that we showed earlier.
I wonder what these go on the secondary market, because I don't really know too much about the value of these pieces. And
you'll probably get 40%, 60% off those, I reckon.
There's a few new pieces as well. Look, new chronographs as well.
These are all priced on request, though, aren't they? They're not showing the prices.
Maybe they just basically build to order.
Interesting.
I wouldn't mind seeing a King Midas come back to the Rolex lineup. I think that would be cool, like a new big version of it. You know, make it modern. That would look amazing for me.
You never know. Can you imagine if they brought that back?
I'll buy that box, man, because of the Hellenic
big lump of gold.
You know, that is a bad boy watch. That would be my one and done.
No, it's not Italian, though, is it, D? It's Greek, isn't it? Not Italian. Yeah.
Parthenon. Temple of Gods.
Temple of God.
That's Alexandros' birthday watch. Can you imagine? Yeah. Temple of Gods.
Yeah.
King Midas. Everything had its touches. Instead of turned into a turd, turned into gold.
I think so, I was going to suggest for the next few live chats that we do, as we move on and move up with the channel and the live chats, we should actually seriously consider getting Rebecca Struthers in for a wee chat, and Roger Smith and others. You know, many of the live chats have focused on, as I said in the first chat, if we broadly divide horology into the professional aspect with Alexander, and your ability to work on the mechanisms and movements, and Dee with the professionals you work with in the trade selling the watches. But if we need to, focus on the actual people who are in the cutting edge, in the vanguard of horology in the UK, and Rebecca Struthers and Craig Struthers are there, and Roger Smith as well. One of the interesting things, the question that was asked, when George Daniels made the coaxial, did he say that was it? I don't know. We'll have to ask Roger Smith that question. But what we do know is that I think that Daniels offered this to Rolex and they politely declined, and that's why he went to Omega.
Yes.
With that. Now, while there's no accounting for taste, my 5-year-old daughter does prefer Omega over Rolex. And I think the whole landscape in watches is changing. And let's just take a step back, and if we, you professionals, yourself, Alex, and the Struthers and other professionals, look at the types of people who are actually wearing Rolex watches. Look at where for a charitable institute that wants to, or a charitable enterprise that wants to support the arts, support the planet, who are their customers? Exactly. There's a lot of fairly nefarious characters who wear Rolexes, from Che Guevara to Saddam Hussein. and presidents of the United States, good, bad, and indifferent. If you look at our monarch, King Charles, he wears a Parmigiani Fleurier. Great watch. Great series of watches. Their Toric and their other watches are fantastic.
Toric.
Yeah. But if you look at his brother, Prince Andrew, he's got a Rolex. He's a Rolex man. So by association with the people, and then Rolex are kind of getting these brand ambassadors. And, do Bucherer have brand ambassadors? Does Parmigiani Fleurier have brand? No, they don't. But if you look at some of the people who wear their watches, they don't need brand ambassadors. The brand speaks for itself. It doesn't need anybody else to speak for it. So when Alex's project that you're working on and other things, you won't need brand ambassadors. And there's a lot of work to be done in horology, and it's whether we jump in. Do we just dip our toe in the water, or we go in head first? And Rebecca Struthers and others, they really, these are the people we want to be getting on the channel to be talking to them.
Well, yeah, I've got a guy that works for me. He's a former Tudor brand manager. Won't mention his name. And I guess he doesn't want to come onto the live streams because if he ever goes back in the industry, it could be tough for him. You know what I mean? He's basically recruiting in the watch industry. But look, we'll try and get them on. Doesn't have to show his face. Just going to come up as an avatar or something like that as well. We get these guys in. But guys, I'm going to have to go. It's been a pleasure. Happy birthday, Alex. It's been a pleasure, as always, to sit amongst such gentlemen, and especially a world-famous watchmaker or someone of your magnitude.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I sometimes I'm gasping for air. I have like goosebumps, to sit next to my friend.
He casts a giant shadow and eclipses everyone. We worship the ground that he stands on. His footprints leave divots, the likes of which we can't fill in. He's just words. One word would be too many, and 1,000 would be too few to describe the one, the only Alexandros Photi.
The ground trembles of the thought of this man working on the watch. The master servicing technician.
Absolutely. The heavens part, and Alexandros
Zeus looks down upon Alex and says, Antikythera.
Yeah.
Can I tell you some quotes?
There you go on.
From which is a very good book for anyone. I would highly suggest anyone to buy this book.
That watch that says knobs.
No bullshit. No bullshit watch tips. It's brilliant.
Knobs. Okay.
By Anthony L. It's a very, very, very good book. So
does it say anything about anti-reflective coating on the upside or the lower side of the crystal? Does it say anything about that?
It will say something about that, because I got this about 10 years ago and I need to read it again.
Yeah, so Mr. JMC. Karinikta kumbaremu. Or Kalimera for you. Kalimera, I should say.
Yeah.
So a man with one watch knows what time it is. A man with two watches is never quite sure.
I don't agree with that.
A man who talks about
mate, that book's just lost all its sales after Alex did that quote. It's like no one's going to buy that book now. A load of nonsense, mate.
Theophrastus, time is the most valuable thing a man can spend.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Time is a waste of money, Alex.
Yes,
Alex. What complication would you like to work on most that you haven't done already?
It's a good question, that, Thomas. I used to see this Frank Muller that was a retrograde, but it was a really interesting one where it would count 60 seconds, but split in half. So it'd have two hands, and they would just be retrogrades, and then they'll flip back. And I was just fascinated by that when I was in the School of Watchmaking, and it was just based on an ETA 2892. But stuff like that, I just always enjoyed. You know, I've worked on chronographs and big dates in terms of, you know, if it's 21, there's two discs. You know, one for the showing the 2, one showing the 1. So it's a big date, calendar big date. I've worked on.
We worked on many calendars, annual calendars, perpetual calendars. We worked on those.
You see Yanni showing us there.
That's you, Alex.
That's me.
Diogenes.
Diogenes.
There you go.
Have I worked on? Look, Thomas, I only work on stuff that I've trained on and that I'm comfortable with, and I get access to parts. I've never really been one of these watchmakers. Some of my friends are really, they're extremely well experienced, and they've been trained to work on tourbillons, perpetual calendars. I don't. I just stick to.
My question is, in an ideal world, what complication would you like to tinker with most? A minute repeater, a annual calendar, a retrograde?
Probably a retrograde or a tourbillon. I would.
Regulator.
Probably a tourbillon or a retrograde.
Right.
A tourbillon.
Right.
It's another picture of Alex there. In your younger days when you were Agamemnon.
Are you guys going on a private stream after, boys? I'm going to go. My garage door's open for some reason. I've had a message from my system.
It's just where the dead bodies are. Same garage that Alex was in earlier on.
This is where where Alex hides all the people that haven't paid his invoices.
That's right.
For 2023. So I'm going to go check them out. And
well, you go and check it out. We'll end the stream because it's been over 2 hours now, and
it's been over 2 hours, and yeah. Well, Brian McCarthy, a man with 2 high accuracy quartz watches.
Boys, I'll see you in a bit then, yeah? I'll see you in a bit for the after show, yeah?
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
So I just want to say to everybody, thank you for watching. And if anyone's got any questions,
give a thumbs up.
Yep. If there's any questions, feel free to ask now.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everyone tuning in, and thank you for all the comments and the super chat.
Yeah,
very much appreciate that.
Your protein powders and your PRXs.
And happy New Year and happy birthday, Alex.
Thank you. Let's put the stream.
Somebody wants to have a chat with me. It sounds a bit ominous.
There we go. If you want to come into the private stream, J. Gray Sweater.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very private gentleman. So if anyone wants to join us on the private stream, here is the link. You can speak to John Yanni's. You can ask him any questions you want.
I'll do my best to answer.
Right, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thanks very much. God bless. Thanks very much for jumping in.